Let's bring in Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for D.C. Judge, what do you make of where things stand?
Well, first of all, I mean, all of our hearts go out to Savannah and her family. I mean, you know, I had an incredible relationship with my mom, and I can only imagine what it's like for Savannah and her siblings. That's number one. Number two, there was a detective on earlier who talked about how sophisticated these people are. I believe they're very sophisticated in terms of, you know, the IP address, using VPNs, messages that could be going through other countries and other IP addresses. Then, you know, it's not the old money drop anymore. It's Bitcoin, the Bitcoin wallet. Then it goes through a blockchain. It could go through other countries. There was a lot of thought that went into this. And if they know they're dealing with someone very smart. Savannah's a very smart woman, and I'm sure her family is as well. They need to know that they have to keep her alive. They knew if they did any kind of casing, and they clearly did, there was talk about a van unusual in the neighborhood. Maybe it was just a van doing work. Who knows? But they knew she was on medication. You could tell from her arms that she had to have medication. Did they grab her medication? Is the medication not there? Did somebody get medication at a drugstore? Did something happen? I don't know. We don't know. And when she continues to ask the abductors to make contact, we don't know if there's backdoor communications going on
Right,
now.
if there's a line of communication.
Right, there may be another line of communication. They are willing to pay, whether it's for, you know, her alive. And I can't imagine the abductors, as sophisticated as they appear to be, don't understand that they want proof of life.
Do you think it's an international sophistication?
I don't know that it's international, but what I'm saying is that they're using, you know, technology today. Yeah. Old crimes are being committed in new ways because of advanced technology. It's hard for us to figure this out.
Let me take you into that just a little bit, Judge, because you at DOJ, you know, they deal with this every day. I have a close friend who that was subject of health, you know, hospital chain of sorts. And, you know, these hackers come in and they make a ransom, and it's all done Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And the DOJ and the FBI gets involved, and they try and help these companies, in the case of my friend, to actually make the payment to make it go away, because then when it goes, you know, public, then, of course, it's a bigger problem to contain. And the ultimate goal is to not be taken, you know, ransom, kidnapped, if you will. In this case, does it seem like these alleged kidnappers might be at the sophistication level of someone that would, like, take, you know, ransom kidnapping of, like, a company?
Yeah, I think they're very sophisticated. I mean, here we are. It's a week later, and now, you know, thank goodness we've got the president adding whatever resources that they need, and you know, we're still going back to where we started. They're going back to the roof. They're going back to the daughter's house. We don't know a lot. They're keeping a lot close to the vest. Who took her home? We don't know. Who was at dinner that night? Were there other people at dinner? Were there any kind of conversations that we may not know about? They know about it. We don't know about it. They pulled the Ring camera off. You know, she is now separated. The pacemaker is no longer connected to her phone. These people knew the woman was on a pacemaker. They knew she was on medication.
Do you think they made mistakes in the investigation so far?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not close enough to it. But what I do know is that we're dealing with smart people on both sides. You've got Nancy, you've got her family, you've got the country who is focused on this. How dare you kidnap an 84-year-old woman and take her for ransom? Why?
What do you make of what I asked Ted Williams just earlier? Like the wording in the very last message that Savannah Guthrie gave to the abductors, you know, what stands out for you? Because there's a lot of stuff that's standing out to us.
That message from Savannah was different.
Yeah.
You knew that there was some kind of a change. I'm not close enough to know what the change is. They're in contact. They're in touch with them. And they know that they're going to do something. Savannah has already made a decision. Is it we're going to pay for mom, or is it we're going to pay for mom in another way?
Correct.
You know, and
I don't want my mom.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what.
That's the sense I got. And by the way, it makes sense. You talked about your mom.
Yeah.
It makes sense. sense just at a human level.
Yeah.
I just want my mom.
We all do.
However it is.
We all do. And we know how close Savannah was with her mom.
Yes.
They knew how close she was. They picked someone because all you have to do is go on social media and she's constantly hugging her mom and kissing her mom.
Should they have made a better, a more obvious effort to make the connection between, it's one thing to kidnap her, but if something actually happens to her, it's death penalty for all of you?
I think they already know that. I really believe there's a backdoor communication going on here that we don't know about.
Well, we certainly hope so. Hey, while we have you here, you were on the tarmac this week when you brought back Zubair al-Baghoush, one of the ringleaders of the attack in 2012 in Benghazi that killed 4 brave Americans. And it seemed, Judge, that you were sending a message to America's enemies around the world that you can run and hide, but we will find you and we will deliver justice.
We're never going to stop. Kash Patel and I, of course, the head of the FBI, were the first ones on that on that plane that brought him back. And I wanted to eyeball this guy. We knew who he was. They lied to us from the get-go. We knew everything that was happening from the moment it was happening. They said, the president said we did everything we could. They didn't do everything they could. Americans watched in horror as 4 Americans are being killed, not by peaceful protests that went awry. And here you can see that's Baghoush coming off the plane. My office got an indictment against him in November. We've been trying to get him back. And thank goodness, Marco Rubio, Department of State, did a phenomenal job. Kash Patel. We know there are more of these guys. The American cavalry never came, to our disappointment, in 2012. We're coming for you now. We've got him. We've got a lot more coming.
Producers, do we have the video of Hillary Clinton when she was testifying for this segment? We don't have that. Okay. Well, let's go instead to a clip that you should remember, Judge, of you interviewing Patricia Smith, who was the mother of Sean Smith, who was killed in Libya. Let's just watch that.
Did they tell you what the cause of death was? Did they tell you how he was killed?
Actually, yes, they told me yesterday.
Yesterday was more than a month after your son's death, and you asked them.
Oh, you noticed that, didn't you? Yes, that's correct. I asked every one of them, and Leon, like I mentioned before, Leon Panetta took his hands with my face and said, "Trust me, I will tell you the truth. I will get the right information to you. Just trust me." And when I heard that, I knew I couldn't trust him. And I don't trust any of them anymore. They lied.
When you say they lied about the film and what else?
Well, everything they told me was, "I'll let you know later because we really don't know too much right now," which is understandable. But they never got back to me. They did. Once I walked out the door, or once they walked out the door, they didn't care.
All of our blood is boiling on this couch. We all can go right back to those days. She did interviews with you, but other people on this network, that poor mom. I also want you to watch this, because this will also make your blood boil.
We were misled that there were supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that, an assault sprang out of that. And that was easily ascertained that that was not the fact. And the American people could have known that within days, and they didn't know that.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
So remember, they lied about that video?
The amazing part of all this is that they had drones and they had videos. They knew immediately. I spoke to Patricia Smith, and I had the honor, honestly, to call Sean Smith's family, Ty Woods, Glenn Doherty, and the ambassadors and tell them, we're bringing in Baghoush. We've got another indictment. And Patricia Smith said to me, she said, my son texted me and he said, Mom, they're not going to send help. I'm going to die. I mean, she has to live with that every day. And they lied. They didn't tell anyone. They could have sent F-16s to fly over to disperse that crowd. They could have done all kinds of things. They had a rapid response team that could have gotten there in a few hours. They didn't send help.
Why didn't they?
You have to ask Obama. Benghazi was the most dangerous place on earth for Americans. And they put them there without protection, and they lied to us on the Sunday morning talk shows. They lied to us in Congress. They lied and said they did everything. How dare they? And the American people knew. And it was only through President Trump that we're now going to get some kind of justice, because we never went for them and protected them.
And seeking justice for these people is the only thing that matters. But it's also worth remembering that because Hillary Clinton highlighted that video, it sparked protests, deadly protests around the world, in which many people were killed, and that should not be forgotten either.
Right, right. And I think the American people can trust their instincts. We knew right away that it was a lie.
Wow.
And believe me, the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, the president, Marco Rubio, Cash, we've all worked together. We're like, we're getting this guy. For me, it comes full circle.
I was just going to say that, Judge. This is a full circle moment for you.
It is.
By the way, I missed your show.
Yeah.
But you're doing much more important work now, and I'm so happy.
But I miss you all.
I miss you too.
We miss you, but you've got more work to do.
Yeah, thanks.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.